Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welkie. This show is all about dating and relationships and sex and love and all that good stuff. If you want to learn more about the show, you can go to www.datingishardcomedy.com. You can reach out, contact if you want to be featured on the show or something, if you got some crazy stories, if you got some questions that you'd like me to ask the guests, etc. Do all of that. You can also find out where it's playing. You got it on, Spotify and Apple and all that good stuff. Hopefully you subscribe and like it and review it and all that stuff. You can also go to the Instagram account for this show. It's at Dating is Hard Comedy. If you like me, you want to follow me on Instagram, go for it. It's at Joe Welkie. That is the best way to figure out when I'm going to be doing shows all over the place and just other random stuff that I'm up to. But anyway, let's get into the show today. So I've been on dating apps trying to meet people from all walks of life. I wanted to talk to them about dating. I wanted to hear their thoughts, their musings, their opinions, their stories. Because, I'm a comedian, and comedians get to talk about that kind of stuff every single night on stage, and people that aren't comedians don't. So I wanted to give them that kind of platform. So luckily, today, we have a very interesting guest. I matched with this woman on Tinder, and she's a singer-songwriter from, I fucked it up on the show, but I said Venezuela, and she called me out on it, but it's definitely not. It's Argentina. She's an Argentinian singer-songwriter, great pop music, all about love. If you want to check her out, you absolutely should. You can look her up on Spotify and go to her website her name it's spelled a little bit confusing, so please listen close. It's Michelle Leclercq. Michelle, it's Michelle. Last name is Leclercq. Michelle Leclercq. You can just Google her. You can go on YouTube, listen to her songs, put it on Spotify, all that good stuff. But today we're here to talk with her about dating and how it's influenced her music, how it's influenced her life, etc. So, without further ado, let's get into my little chat with Michelle Leclercq. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dating is Hard podcast. As you may know, I've been going on dating apps in search of people from all walks of life, trying to see who's out there and who wants to talk about their experiences, their opinions, their musings, their stories that they want to share. And it has led me to some very interesting people. And I have a very interesting person here today. We met through Tinder, which is a rarity. A lot of the people that I've met so far have been through Bumble, but we got one of the rare Tinder ones today. And boy, oh boy, do we have a treat. We have singer, songwriter, international recording superstar, Michelle Leclercq. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. It's very nice of you. It's very cool of you.
It's fun. I'm already laughing. I'm like trying to hold it.
So we met through Tinder. How long have you been on Tinder?
Maybe 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
I mean, I've had it for a while, only I never use it.
Yeah, just like kind of on and off thing.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
It turned out super cool because like at first I kind of hated it and I didn't really want to date people. I just wanted to swipe. Because it's like at 3 a.m. swiping.
Just wanted to judge. Like, you're not hot. You're hot. You seem interesting.
Yeah, and then it's kind of fun, like when they swipe right on you. Like it's an ego-boosting thing. But then I started discovering lots of music producers on Tinder.
Oh.
So I started discovering a lot of people in the industry, and I've actually been having sessions. And it's been like fucking amazing.
That's
I love
awesome.
It. I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think that people are using dating apps now more for that, for like business opportunities. Like I'm using it for a fucking podcast right now.
Dude, it's been like amazing. Like,
yeah.
And I've definitely like talked to a couple people, but I haven't really, I think I only went on a Tinder date once. And
once ever?
Yeah. and the other ones were like working Tinder things. Like,
So you're just networking on Tinder.
yeah, it's super cool.
All right, you're just breaking hearts though.
No, I'm writing songs.
Have you ever has there ever been any kind of confusion where it's like you match with a music producer and they think that it's going to be a date and you're like, "Oh, no, this is strictly business."
I usually stop it before I see them, if that's the case.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've only been on it for 3 weeks. Is this
Yeah.
your first time ever using dating apps?
No, I mean, I've had Tinder for like a while. I went on a date maybe about a year ago, and I didn't like it. And then... No.
What happened? Why was...
He was just like really young and fresh to LA, and I just got bored instantly.
Damn.
And I was just like thinking, how the fuck can I get out of here? And then I just kind of last minute like dropped him off somewhere, and I was like, I'm sorry, I have to leave, bye. And then he texted me like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm just really tired, you know.
And then you never talk to him again.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so brutal. That's so
I
sad.
know, it's
Poor guy.
mean, it's mean.
So are you on there, like are you on there looking to date, or now is it more of kind of like a
Not
music kind of
really.
thing?
I kind of started using it. I was dating somebody, and then that somebody flew away to their home country,
Yeah.
and I kind of felt
That'll
lonely.
end things real quick.
I kind of felt lonely, and I downloaded Tinder again, and I just started,
Couple weeks ago.
swiping right and left, talking to people, only talking to them, but never actually seeing them. And then I discovered I could like go out with producers and just write songs, and
Yeah.
it was really good.
Is there any reason why you don't want to meet up with people?
No, not really.
No one's inspiring you to go out on a date with them?
It's kind of weird. It's like you only see a picture, and there's also like the classic fuckboy on Tinder, and like
Shirtless mirror pictures.
exactly, and it's like, really? Like, I don't know. And you also don't really know anything about them. You only see a picture, so it's like
Yeah.
maybe they look good, but they're not attractive on the cool things,
Yeah. Once you meet them in person, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're a completely different person.
Totally. And especially when you're an artist, you pay attention to like so many other things. Like to me, I find it really cool when somebody's like smart or like good with words, because I'm like, shit, this is hot, like somebody that reads a lot, uses like good words, because
Yeah.
like I love doing that too. Like I wish I was better at communication, like I read books and I write songs, and I'm constantly thinking of the perfect way of saying things.
Yeah.
And then when I meet somebody that's really smart, I'm like, oh, holy shit.
Oh, you're just doing that on the spot. You're just
Exactly.
eloquent. That's interesting. So, have you ever had any kind of dating experience inspire songs from you?
All of them.
Yeah.
They're like my...
That's like every songwriter ever, every band.
Of
All
course.
about love.
Yeah. And I used
Heartbreak.
to play shows where I would say who it was about, and then I stopped doing that.
Have you ever done it where that person was in the audience? Where it's like someone that you're dating, you're like, this song is about my boyfriend. He's right there.
I would never say it in front of them. But I've definitely written a song. It's funny. I wrote a song like about a breakup that I had, and my ex was trying to get back with me, and so he would come to my shows and stuff, and like he really loved that song. And I was like not speaking well about him, but it was his favorite song. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, yeah. Okay.
That's hilarious. That he's just like so oblivious to it.
It's like,
where
this
he's
is
just
my
like,
favorite song. He
well,
probably
did he
felt
know
like,
it was about him?
Oh, probably. Like it was super obvious, but it's not like I said, "Oh, you're beautiful." I was like, I want to get the fuck out of here," But he loved it.
Well, maybe there was some kind of like inner sense, for him that he's like, oh, this is deep, and it's definitely not about me.
No, I think he related to it. I don't know. He liked, for some reason, he admired my musicianship. He was really good at other things. Like he was really good at performing, like movement and stage. He had a band too, and he played and he was very talented too, like really talented guitar player. And me, I was a little more shy. I wasn't as extroverted as him, but I knew a little bit more about music theory and chords. So that was definitely one of my strengths, and I think he kind of admired that.
So are you like classically trained in music or singing or?
I studied classical piano for a really long time. When it comes to singing, honestly, I do mostly pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love R&B. I always try to have like some R&B and soul influences.
Yeah, I've listened to some of your stuff. It's great. It's great. Everybody listening, check out Michelle's stuff. We're probably, at the end talking. Well, you could just Spotify her, Michelle Leclercq.
Michelle Leclercq. Leclercq.
There you go.
Remember that. And if not, fast forward backwards. And repeat it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, your name's going to be on the title. You can just copy and paste it on Spotify or something. And
Perfect.
hear some of these lovely love songs or whatever. So you're from Venezuela originally?
No.
Wait,
from
no.
Argentina.
Damn it. Oh, is this like some kind of thing where it's like you hate Venezuela?
No. My roommate is from Venezuela. I love Venezuela.
I'm sorry for
I've dated somebody
up.
from Venezuela. I have dated everybody in like the whole world.
Really? That's not good. That's not.
It's a joke. I'm joking.
So you're originally from Argentina. I'm sorry about that. And how long have you been in LA?
3 years.
Were you in America before that at all?
Yeah. I have been in America for 6 months, just traveling around. I used to work at Lake Tahoe at a ski resort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you using are there dating apps in Argentina?
In Argentina? Yeah, there's Tinder, but...
Is it not as good?
No, I downloaded, but I never really went on a date.
You're like a tease where it's just like everybody's like, oh my God, look at this girl, let me swipe right on her. And then they're just left hanging. Unless you're a music producer or a podcaster.
Well, here in the States, it's different. But honestly, I'm more of I like meeting people in person. I think it's weird when you meet them online. It's like, you know nothing about them. Like, you're only attracted to their physical appearance. But, it's so much more interesting when you actually, I don't know, when situations happen.
So when was the last first date that you went on?
The last first date?
Yes.
What do you mean?
The last time you went on a first date.
On a first date? I don't know. Does it count if it's a production? Like if we're producing a song?
You're just using people. You're only swiping right on music producers and you're like, this can help my career.
I swiped right on you.
I'm just some loser. This is some free advertisement. Everybody go to listen to Michelle Leclercq on Spotify.
Thank you. The last first date, maybe 2 months ago.
2 months ago? What'd you do? Where'd you go?
No, I just met him randomly.
How did you meet him?
I was home. I was a little bit depressed, and I said, you know what? Because I traveled, right? I went to Europe, and then I went to Miami, and when I got back to LA, I felt like lonely, and like it was hard to reinsert myself here because I had so much fun out there.
Yeah.
And so I was home, kind of depressed, felt lonely, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna meet somebody, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun. So I went out to I went out to a nightclub. I flirted with everybody. I was feeling like a fucking goddess, and then this guy appeared, and yeah.
Yeah, and then it was just like something happened, something clicked.
Yeah. And then we kind of dated for 3 weeks until he went back to his home country.
That's so sad.
I know, but that's always what happens.
Is it? I feel like that doesn't happen a lot. I've never dated anyone where they're like 3 weeks. I'm going back to what's his home country?
Australia. Close, right? Everybody I've been dating lately lives somewhere else. Like, it's like I'm attracted to people that are different, and then they go like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to Venezuela. I have to go to Mexico, Brazil, Colombia. I don't know.
That's such a shame.
I know, right?
That's such a letdown.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like some kind of fleeting love chase where it's just like, oh, I only have a limited time with this person, so I can, the stakes aren't as high,
It's good and bad because it's good because I'm trying to focus on my career and like being limited.
Is
Like
there a
when you're
baby
dating
crying
someone.
right now? Did you just hear that baby crying?
I heard a kid.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I was going crazy because I just heard like a. Sorry.
Yeah, there was something.
Sorry to
out there.
interrupt you.
So basically, what was I saying? Oh, it's positive and negative. It's really sad when they leave, and like I've learned already, like if I'm dating somebody that's from some other part of the world, I literally block my feelings because like when they leave, you romanticize it so much, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this love across the oceans, and it's obviously not as
Yeah, you can't invest as much into it because it's just
Yeah.
you know they're leaving.
Yeah, and I've done shit where I've like flown over continents because I was talking to somebody or shit like that. And I'm not afraid of it, but it definitely doesn't go anywhere and it only lasts so long. And it's amazing because it's
yeah.
short and like you really miss each other. And then when you see them, it's like, oh, I missed you and shit like that. But it's not real. So.
Yeah, those little. Me and my roommate talk about that where it's like 2-week, 1 month-long relationships where there's just so much passion involved in it.
I know.
And it's just, and then when it's over, it's just like so devastating.
I know. It's always the same. And then you download Tinder.
Well, that's the thing is you have to go, if you know that they're going to leave, then you can't go into it with like, but that's the other thing is like, some of those people are so special in your life and they're so great that it's hard not to get invested in it. Like you'll start to catch feelings for that person and you won't even realize it until they're leaving and you're like, oh no,
I know,
what am I gonna do now? You're leaving.
And the fact that it's forbidden makes you want it more. It's like I shouldn't, and you're like, I have to.
So where's the craziest place that you've ever flown to for somebody?
Australia.
Uh-oh. Was it this guy or was it a different
No.
Australian guy?
It was another friend. It was another guy. But
you like the Aussies, don't you?
he actually was Argentinian like me. Nothing. We were just like talking a lot and like yeah, but we were gonna see each other in Argentina because we're neighbors in Argentina.
Really?
Yeah.
Same town or something?
Yeah, same town. Like his house is right next to mine.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. Anyway, so he came to LA, we hooked up, whatever. And then we hooked up like the night before he left because like he kept texting me and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy. And then like, because I didn't really remember a lot about him. We used to go to high school together, but I'm like all over the place. Yeah. And so we hooked up the last night because that's the night where I was free. And I was like, holy shit, like I think I like him. Then he leaves and we talked for a long time and he was like, come home for Christmas, and I'm like, I can. And he's like, well, then you should just come to Australia. And I'm like, I don't know. And then he goes like, yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't.
And then you're like, fuck you, I'm going. I need a trip to Australia. It sounds pretty good.
But the bad thing, in which what I did is like I booked it from like 3 months after the last time we talked. Like it was ridiculous. But I was like going on tour. I was gonna play a couple shows in Argentina and Paraguay, and I said like, why don't I go to Australia, play a couple shows there, because like I'm getting my artist visa, and like it's gonna be really good for my visa, and I also want to kind of get far away from everybody I know. I just want to go to a random place where nobody knows me, and just like do my own life for a second. Like I don't want it to revolve around this person, even though he gave me the idea of going to Australia. I just want to do my own life there. Yeah. And it was like the best fucking trip of my life. Like never in my life had I had such a wonderful time.
How long were you there for?
I think 3 weeks or a month.
Oh man! And did you do shows there?
Yeah, I played a couple, like, and then I met this band. Their name is Laney, and I met them at the airport, and they invited me to their show, and I went like backstage, and like I went on the tour bus with them. I slept in the hotel room with them, and like I was learning so much just from watching them play like a sold out show. Because like all of a sudden I'm at the airport flying from Melbourne to Sydney. And they see that I have a big guitar because back then Gibson Guitars was lending me instruments. They lend me guitars every time I play shows. And they hooked me up in Australia. So I was flying from Melbourne to Sydney carrying my Gibson. And they see me and the stage manager was kind of like flirting with me. So he invited me to the show and shit. And oh my God, it was such a crazy experience because like I didn't really know what to expect. And then when I get there, it's like sold out, lines and lines of people. I get in there, it's like 3,000 people, sold out, no more people can come in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like backstage and like watching everything, talking to the opening band, talking to them, watching how the manager works and all these other people, like a group of 25 people just putting the sound on, the lights, this, that. And I'm just like mentally taking notes and like loving
For when
it.
I get big.
I know, it was crazy. I loved it so much. Like it literally made my soul have an orgasm. It was perfect. It was so good.
So where did the guy come in? Did you ever meet up with him while you were in
Oh
Australia?
yeah. We met up a lot of times, but nothing happened.
Oh, that's so sad. You went all that way, but well, you got to do like the show stuff.
I was like busy in my own shit, and
Yeah.
I think he was actually dating somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that.
But a
Kinda
lot,
sucks.
like I didn't really expect anything from him because, like I wanted to do my own shit. In fact, like I didn't tell him anything that I was going to Australia till like the day I got there. I think like I
Really?
wasn't gonna tell him. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to Australia, but I'm not gonna tell him.
He's like, come to Australia. You're like, no, psych. I'm secretly going. You'll never know.
No, it wasn't like that.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do my own shit.
Stop it. It was kind of like that, but I did my own shit.
No, stop. It was exactly like that. This is exactly what happened.
I went and I did my own shit, and it was like fucking amazing, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's funny that you can go and try and do something crazy for or not really necessarily for somebody, but
Because somebody inspires you.
yeah, someone inspires you that you had met randomly or dated for a little bit, and then you find yourself in another situation that's even better.
I know. And the crazy thing is, like, I think this guy was kind of expecting me to be, like, chasing him.
Well, he was
And-
dating somebody else. Fuck that guy.
And that wasn't happening. And, like, it just became something so beautiful because, like, we did hang out a lot. And,
Yeah.
like, we just created a bond, you know. We became, like, really good friends. And, like, I don't really know what kind of friends we became. I just put it on the friend zone because, like, it's easier. Because, like, sometimes when you have feelings for somebody and, like, it gets in this weird gray area. So I just, like, literally friend zone him and nothing for the sake of our friendship. Because,
Yeah.
like, sometimes you don't really want to lose that person because they're cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It was amazing, and he was really happy that I went there. I was really happy that I went there. Like, it was all
Did he ever see any of your shows?
no, he wanted to come to my show in LA. I think he actually saw me perform at the MVA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, I think so. Because the day before my performance, we were talking, and he was like, come on, you got this. You're going to nail it. Like, yeah, he was very supportive.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. That's good to hear. Because there's so many people that I hear with that, especially on dating apps, where it's just like, oh, you're a fucking bitch. Like if you turn them down or something, or if you friend zone them, you
Yeah.
know, it gets kind of crazy out there.
But this guy wasn't from a dating app. This guy...
Yeah, this was an in-person.
Yeah. Like,
Is that's how you generally like to meet people that you date?
Yeah. And I've known this person since I was 13 years old. Like,
That's true.
I knew him all my life. I just never... Like, he was always around. I just never was close friends with him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what do you think is a good idea for a first date? Like if you were about to go on a date with somebody, where would you like to go? What's a good idea, you think?
It depends on the kind of person you're dating.
All right.
But,
let's
like,
hear
the
this.
other-
Let's hear some theories here.
I don't know. Honestly, I just love doing things that are out of the normal. Like, the guy I met, the other Australian guy that I was telling you about, I randomly met him at a bar, right? And I meet him there. I was actually... I shouldn't say this.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to say it. But I meet him, right? And we start making out randomly. Like, I didn't expect it, right? I was just talking to him. I was super into the conversation.
Yeah.
And he kisses me all of a sudden. And my phone rings. And he goes like, you should take the phone call. And I didn't want to take it because it was another friend that always asks for shit. So I knew he would be asking for something. And I was like, I don't want to answer. But I pick up the phone and my friend goes like, hey, Michelle, I left all my shit at your car. I need it right now. And I tell this guy that I'm dating, we're gonna name him Sandwich.
Sandwich. Okay. You're
And
the first person with like a secret name for somebody. And I like Sandwich. That's a good first pseudonym. Yeah.
Right. So like me and Sandwich are making out.
Yeah, you're making out with a sandwich. Sounds hot.
My phone rings. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I have to leave. And he's like, no, like, no, I'm going with you. And I'm like, and your friends? And he goes like, fuck them. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So he comes with me to my car, and I don't really know what to do because I'm not gonna take him to my house, and I'm not gonna go to his because like I barely know him, and you know. So I'm like, ding, and like a little light bulb lights in my head, and I have like a super cool idea, and I just drive all the way to Mulholland Drive here in Hollywood, and there's this place. It's called Jerome Sea Overlook, where you can see like the whole city, and it's beautiful, but it's closed at night. But if you jump over the fence over the left side of it, like it's not as high, and you can actually like cross it, and then you just have to kind of use like a tree to climb over the mountain.
Yeah.
And then you see the whole city at night, and you have it all for yourself, and it's beautiful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's the make out point. Like you see that in movies.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, let's go up to the top of the city, look over the city, and we can smooch.
Yeah.
It's so romantic.
Honestly, I was like so into the little lights that I wasn't like so into the whole making out thing.
This poor guy.
No. But in the end, I ended up really liking him, and it ended up being like really cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but I was just like mesmerized by the lights. I love them. I go there all the time.
But just by yourself?
I always go with somebody because I'm afraid, like, what if like a serial killer just thinks about like, ooh, somebody comes alone here.
It's also like snakes and mountain lions.
Oh, yeah, that's not scary.
Really? That's way more scary to me.
No, to me,
well, also,
killer.
Yeah. Well,
A killer is more
a serial killer. I don't know. It's different. I know how to interact with a person. Like if I see a person coming towards me and I feel like they're about to threaten or try to kill me, you know, I know how humans work. But if a fucking mountain lion.
But you're a guy. Like,
yeah, it's a little different.
You're not a girl.
Yeah.
Like, even you can like manipulate verbally a guy, but if he's a serial killer, like he will still try to murder you no matter what you say.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So what do you think the differences in dating are in America versus
in Argentina?
Yeah.
Were you gonna say Venezuela?
I kind of got lost. Well, because I feel like you've been so many places and there's so many opportunities to date because you know you're touring all these places. So totally. I was gonna say America and the world. What do you think is different here?
Honestly, especially in LA, there's so many people from all over the world that you're never dating somebody that's an LA native.
Yeah.
Like you're always dating people that are from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is, I don't really know because I don't like dating people from LA or from Argentina. I just get tired of people that follow a specific pattern.
Yeah.
And like I'm always looking for something else or something different.
Something more exotic.
Yeah, something different. Like I feel like I grow from differences. That's also why I always like people who live far away because like I see somebody that doesn't fit the mold and I'm like, oh, interesting. You know?
Yeah.
But the difference is, what are they? First of all, Argentina is smaller and everybody there is Argentinian, so they all think alike, and you know, Argentinians are really funny and they're very exaggerated and everything is like whole drama, but it's also very funny and they're very loving too. Mm-hmm. People in LA, like I said, they're coming and going. They're from all over the world. It's full of musicians. That's another one of my patterns. Everybody I date is a musician.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah. Every time.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you would ever date another like singer.
Oh, yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah. Has anyone ever written a song about you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it a good or bad song?
It depends.
Uh-oh. You've gotten multiple songs written about you, haven't you?
Yeah. But
some good, some bad.
It also depends on your feelings on the song because, for example, right, this person wrote a song about me and I broke up with this person and I ran away from this person because I didn't want to be with this person, and my whole family loved the song and they all thought he was so sweet and so beautiful and they loved him so much, and I was just like, I don't ever want to listen to that again. Like, I want to delete it, and like, why did you even send me that?
So wait, did your parents send you that?
No. This
Oh,
ex-boyfriend.
the ex-boyfriend sent it.
of
Was
mine.
like, hey, check this out. I wrote this diss track about
No, he was way more dramatic. He was more like, this is the last email I'll send you, and it was a love song, and like, come back to me. I don't know, whatever.
So how did your parents hear about it? Did you send it to them?
No, I showed it to them, yeah.
Oh, okay. And they were like, oh, that's such a good song. Whatever happened to that guy? And you're
No,
like,
because they were there. They were like, oh, why did you guys break up? What did you guys break up? And I was like, yeah, I broke up because I wasn't in love anymore.
Yeah.
And they made me feel guilty about it. They were like, oh, he was so sweet. Why? But I also never told them the bad sides of the relationship because I don't want to listen to my parents repeating the things I hate about it. You know, like.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have them have, like, a beautiful idea of this person I dated and never think badly about him. And he was the opposite. He talked shit about me with his parents, and it was really hurtful. It's really painful.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, because, like, it's so horrible to have the family of your ex hate you. Like, my family loves my ex. Like,
yeah,
they would, like, totally welcome him. You know, because, like, imagine we went back together. Like, his family would still hate me. They might still be resentful or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I would never speak badly about an ex to my parents. You know, maybe to my friends, yes, because you're like venting out because you have issues and you want to like take that pain out of your shoulders. But not with my family, just because if tomorrow I want to go back to him or whatever, I would still want my family to take him in, you know.
Yeah, I have a hard time talking to like anyone in my family about relationships that I have because I've been through that before where it's like, oh, I'm dating somebody and then we break up and then we're getting back together and they don't know what to make of it. And it's a lot more complicated than just like, I'm with this person and now I am not with this person.
I know.
You know? Sometimes it's like you're going through different phases. You're trying to make things work and it's hard. It's rough.
Yeah.
And like, it's even harder to like explain that to your parents. Like anytime now that I talk to my parents, they're like, so you dating anybody?
I know, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I could. And then you also don't want to let them know the truth because if you're on dating apps a lot of times, you're just like, you're dating so many different people and it's like, yeah, well, I have a date with one girl Friday and I have a date with another girl Sunday. Here's hoping something happens, you know?
I know, right?
It's so crazy.
I used to date somebody when I was 16 years old and I told my parents about it, and we broke up within a week of the day I told them, right? And later, he left me. He just, like, disappeared on me. And then later, he came back, like, a year after, and he said he was sorry and blah, blah, blah. And his father was running a TV show back home, and he was a cook, right?
Yeah.
And he invited me to that TV show because they asked him at the TV show to bring a girlfriend, and he invited me, and I said no.
Yeah.
And then the TV show went on and they made a joke about sex or whatever, or like cooking aphrodisiac food, right? And my grandmother back then was in hospital because she had been through an accident. And I just have this image of her like being almost dead in the bed of the hospital, but being like, I'm so proud that you didn't win. They were joking about sex. Like...
And grandma's still like protecting the innocence and all
right,
that.
Right.
Yeah,
so funny.
My first girlfriend that like ever met my parents still ask about her. It's like, dude, that was so long ago. I can't possibly. I don't even know what that person's up to. And they're like, so whatever happened to this person?
I know.
My grandmother too. She's like, whatever happened to that girl that you brought to Christmas? It's like that was 10 years ago.
I know, right? And my mother still follows one of my exes on social media.
Really?
And he blocked me. He disappeared, right? I don't have him on any kind of social media network. And my mother still follows him. And she's like, oh, did you see? He has a new girlfriend. Or she's like,
yeah, my parents do that too.
I know.
It's like, why do you do that? You should know. We're a united front. Once I'm blocked, you like my best friend, he still follows one of my ex-girlfriends. It's like, what are you doing, man? Stop. Like, you're supposed to be on my side, you know?
Well, I don't really care that my parents follow him, except for the fact that, I don't know, he got a new girlfriend. It's fine. Like, we all move on. Like, it didn't really bother me. I was actually happy that he got a girlfriend. But then his father passed away, and that was kind of sad. And my mom started texting me. She was like, you should text him and send him a message and telling him that you support him. And I'm like, Mom, I don't want to do that because I know he is going to block me again.
Yeah.
And she's like, you should be a good person, blah, blah, blah. So I sent him like a really long text saying like, I'm so sorry for your loss. If you need anything, you know, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And he blocked me. and I just felt like shit because like it was a relationship where he...
Yeah, you were trying to be nice and supportive.
I was trying to be nice and supportive.
You followed your mom's advice, and that's why you never follow your mom's advice anymore.
Exactly.
I tried to do that with one of my exes recently. It was like about a year ago. Have you ever done this where you're like, you're just feeling lonely and you see your ex pop up on like Facebook or Instagram and you're just like, oh no. So I sent her a message just being like, hey, I know it's been a while and since we talked or whatever, but I just hope all is well. And I just wanted to say what's up. And I saw that she read it and then no reply. And just like, yeah, I guess I deserve that.
No, I never do that.
Oh, damn it. It's a little vulnerable moment from me. And you're just like, no, I would never do that.
No, because like if they're an ex, I mean, maybe I used to do that 4 years ago or something, but it was always like, it was kind of fucked up because I was dating somebody and I would break up with that somebody and then text an old ex.
Oh, scandalous.
And then just because, like, there wasn't really a reason, you know, like it was just more of a...
You wanted attention or something?
No, I think it was more of a, like... an internal thing of like, I broke up but I'm fine without you. Just like some stupid thing. But I don't do that anymore. And honestly, like all of my exes or all of the people that I've dated and I don't date anymore, I have good relationships with them except for my ex from the
one that blocked you?
Yeah.
The one that you were like, hey, I'm sorry for your loss. And then he was like, I'm done with you forever.
Yeah,
That's
he actually
so
kicked me out of the house.
Man.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's
Just
okay.
kicked you out of a house.
I know. He was like, give me the keys. You have till tomorrow morning to leave.
Till tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm. And the next day I was flying to Cleveland, so I literally made my bag and flew away.
Wow.
Left half my shit there. And then I came back and I took it.
Yeah. What were you going to Cleveland for? Show?
No. My family was there. My aunt lives there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's so nice. Do you ever go back there just to see your family? Do they go there often?
Only my aunt. I've been there once only. But the rest of my family lives in Argentina.
Still?
Yeah.
You go back to see them?
Yeah, once a year at least.
Christmas time or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the best time to go, right?
Yeah, getting your presents.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not getting presents.
Totally.
Have you ever already had any like egregiously just awful first dates or awful dates in general?
Yeah.
What
happened? The Tinder one.
Wait, what?
The Tinder one.
We already talked about it.
It was, dude. We walk into this place, right? He was there super early, first of all, right? And apparently he took the metro for like 2 hours to get there. Like,
oh no.
I was like, shit. Anyways, I go there. And he's like, hi. You know, like he's super excited. He's like this tall. He's good looking, but he's kind of dorky.
Sounds familiar.
So we ordered drinks. And they asked for IDs, and he doesn't have one. And apparently he's under 21. And I'm like, oh shit.
Well, how old were you?
22 or 23 or I'm 24 now, so maybe 23.
Yeah.
20. Yeah, I don't even know. 23 maybe, but
you were over 21 though.
I was over 21, and I usually date older people, and he was like really young, and he was just very new to LA and like very innocent and naive, and I just felt like I was wasting my time.
Well, how old was he?
I don't know, maybe 20, 19. I don't know. Yeah.
What makes you want to go for older guys?
I think that I'm very mature in certain ways. I'm very immature in other ways, but in general, I'm a very down to earth person, no bullshit kind of thing, and so usually older guys have it done.
Yeah, that's the thing that I always run into, and I've talked about it before on here, is that I generally always end up dating younger women, and whenever it like doesn't work out, all of my friends will be like, you just need to date somebody older than you. And the thing is, women that are older than me aren't interested in dating younger. You know, I feel like a lot of women are interested in dating older. I don't know why. I mean,
It depends. Like, when I date somebody younger, it's because I'm looking for fun. Like, I'm looking for somebody that can bring
youthful
that,
vigor.
yeah, that youth and that, like, craziness. Like, sometimes when you're young, you think you have the world in your hands and you think you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And you think you're invincible. And that's like this feeling of freedom. And as you get older and you realize life isn't as beautiful as you thought and shit happens, it's like people get a little more depressed and problematic in a way. So sometimes you look for somebody younger because they bring all this like adventure into your life and they're so wild and free. But then you have the other side where you look somebody that's older because they know things that children don't.
Yeah, they have more experience and knowledge.
Yeah. And that's attractive too.
Yeah. So what do you look for in a guy? Like, what's your type, if you had to describe a type that you usually go for?
Musicians that live really far away.
Are there any deal breakers? Is there anything that you see in somebody, like physically and mentally?
Honestly, I never liked them at first. Like,
You don't
literally.
like anybody at first?
Not at first. Like, they might be good looking and whatever, but like, I start to like them when I get to know them personally. So, like, for example, this Australian guy, Sandwich, right?
Sandwich?
No, like, at first, like, it was cool. Yeah, we hooked up. But, like, to me, hooking up is just, like, whatever, it's very physical. Unless you really know them. And that's when, like, it gets interesting,
Yeah.
And as I started to know him, I realized he was, like, a really cool person. Oh, holy shit.
Yep.
That was fucking scary.
My roommate's coming home. Yo, what's up, Tiff? How's it going? This is Michelle.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What?
Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you. I'll edit this out.
No, fucking, I'm not here.
This is a first on the
You gotta
podcast.
be professional.
What was your question?
Like, what are some deal breakers?
Oh, deal breakers. Things that I like in somebody. When they're smart, when...
No, this deal breakers is the opposite. Like, if you see something in this person, you're just, like, turned off immediately.
Oh, turned off immediately. When they start, like, saying all these sexual things, like, hey, mama. Like,
Hey, mama. I hope no one's saying that.
or, like...
That's so
when they go, like,
awful.
hey, cutie, it's like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
Like, who do you think you are? Like, first of all. Second, why the fuck are you calling me cutie? You don't know shit about me. Like, and that's gross. I want to throw up right now.
Yeah.
What else? When they don't know you, but they just start talking about your ass or your body, it's like, gross. What else? What don't I like? When they smell bad. Like, if they smell like farts.
They smell like farts? Have you ever gone out with anybody that just is like farting nonstop?
Dude, I went to a nightclub once and like this guy got me in and he took me to the VIP, right?
Yeah.
And I spent the night with him like just dancing,
Yeah.
nothing weird, right? And I thought he was cute and he was kind of flirting with me, but all of a sudden this fart smell comes, and I hope it wasn't from his ass, but I really think it was because it was a nightclub full of people, So
Yeah.
like it's weird that somebody farts and then it comes and surrounds him
That's
like an
so... Because it totally could not have been him, but it's whoever you're with, you're just like, you definitely did this. It could have been somebody so far away and not associated at all,
I
but you're like,
know.
this guy definitely was the farter.
Like, it was a nightclub, so there was obviously a lot of butts in there.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that it surrounded him like a halo, it was like, shit. I'm so turned off.
It just
by that.
followed him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
so
a noble
awful.
gas.
Oh, no.
I know.
That sucks so bad. So you're on Tinder. Are you on any of the other dating apps? Or
I did.
just Tinder?
Bumble or Hinge, one of those. I did that for a second. Yeah.
Not like it?
I never went on a date. I just think it's so stupid.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, you put your taste and thing, and then people think, like, oh, like, she likes this just as me. Like, it's so stupid. Like, just meet them,
Yeah.
People have an energy. You can't really sense their energy on an internet app.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there have been multiple times where I've thought that I've had a good energy or I thought that I've had good conversation with someone through an app, and then you meet them in person and it's just completely different. They don't talk as much, or it's like, it's not, the connection isn't there, the chemistry.
Exactly.
And so that's always so heartbreaking because it's like, oh, well, this is a thing. Like, I'm having a good conversation with this person. I feel like this could be a connection. And then
Totally.
you meet them and it's just like one word answers. And
Totally.
it's
Oh,
the fucking
another
worst.
deal breaker is when they're like, how do you call it? Like the opposite of feminism.
Oh, chauvinist.
Yeah, kind of like that. When they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they underestimate you because you're a woman. It's like that's a big turnoff.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know anyone that's like into that, but those guys exist.
I know,
You know?
like there's people that think that women are supposed to just like do the dishes and clean your clothes. Like, well, no, I'm sorry, we don't do that.
I wouldn't think that that type of person exists in LA because it's such a liberal city and it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
like pro-feminist, pro like
But it really
rights.
exists in like Latin America.
Really.
Like a lot in Mexico, a
Oh, there
lot
you
in
go. There's a
Argentina.
difference between the countries.
Yeah.
A lot more less feminism, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Welcome to America, baby. Home of
Welcome
the
to America.
feminists. You have any other bad first date stories, or is just the sandwich? No, sandwich was a good one.
Sandwich was good. Yeah, I
The
love
other,
sandwich. Sandwich.
the guy that
Sandwich,
was under
you're
20
cool
minutes.
if you're listening to this.
Sandwich, if you can decode who you are based off of listening to this, you're cool in all of our books.
Yeah, we love you, Sandwich. Another bad dating story. No, just like random and one time I had this friend, right? And like I kind of liked him at first, but then I just friend zoned him because nothing happened, and apparently he started liking me. And I was like, shit, like I still want to hang out with you because you're super cool and like we go
Yeah.
together to all of this industry parties, right? But I don't really want to be with you. And
That's where it gets complicated.
one day I was kind of drunk and he took me home and he tried to make a move on me, and I just kept pretending like I was super drunk and just like being tipsy, and I was like, oh, I'm so drunk, and I was like throw myself to the floor shit like that, or like yeah, so I wouldn't have to.
That's such a shame.
I would just pretend like I was asleep. I'm like, sleeping on the
Are you still friends with him now?
yeah, we're still
Okay,
friends.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
he realized.
Usually when something happens like that, where it's like the person has feelings and then the other, it's not reciprocated, it's like it usually ends poorly, where it's so someone will be like, hey, I have feelings for you, and the other person doesn't feel the same way,
Yeah.
and then the person that has the feelings will just get really upset about it, and just there's
know.
conflict, and it's so complicated. And I've definitely been there before, where it's just like, well, fuck you, you suck anyway. Do you have anybody that you think is like the one that got away?
Yeah, but it's silly.
It's cool.
No. Like, he was a really cool guy, and like, I had a lot of guilt for a while because I left. Because I really, really, really liked him, and I had a lot of feelings for him, but I was like super scared of it. And I left, and it was like an amazing story that never had a bad ending, or it never had anything bad in it. It was just like he lived in New York, and I had to go back to Argentina, and so I met him in New York. It was amazing, and then I just randomly booked a flight to Miami because I knew I was like liking him, and I knew that at some point I would have to go back home, and so I just left. Like, I could have stayed longer, but I left. And then later, like 2 years after, he passed away, and I always regretted that. And I was like, shit, like, what if he was the love of my life? And like, I started having all of this like crazy vivid dreams where I would talk to him, and like I could swear on God that it was him just like visiting, and I really regretted it, and I felt really guilty for a really long time, and it took me a lot of time to like grieve it, and it still hurts, but now I look at it in a positive way, because I'm like, well, this person taught me to love better, because now I'm not gonna let any opportunity like
When you have those feelings again, you're not.
I'm not gonna run away from somebody just because I like them, like I'm just gonna, if I have to fly all over the world to go to Australia, I'll do it. I don't care. Or like wherever, I don't know, China, whatever.
That's it's so mature that you like took that lesson from that.
Yeah.
It's such a devastating, heavy thing,
Totally. And I became super, super close with his mom, and like we still hang out, I hang out with his grandmother, like, and he definitely taught me how to love better. Like, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, oh, that's so tragic. But also, like, lessons are learned through tragedy.
Totally. And I feel like I immortalized that relationship because I coldly thought to myself, if I stay, it could go wrong. And maybe he will leave me because maybe he won't like me enough. But if I leave, he'll love me and I love him. But we couldn't be together because of distance,
That's
and
so
it's
dramatic.
It's so dramatic and stupid and like such a coward move, It's just like, oh, we can't be together, but we love each other. Like, so stupid because you're not really giving it a shot. You're just lying to yourself and running away,
Yeah.
And just putting a random excuse, right?
Yeah, I mean, also, it's kind of like you're not giving yourself an opportunity to love or feel that because you're, like, afraid of it.
You're afraid of it, and what you're actually afraid of is people telling you what you already think about yourself.
Really?
Yeah. That's what you're always afraid of. You're afraid of your own reflection coming back at you. So maybe you think, oh, I'm not good enough because whatever. I'm not skinny enough, or I'm not smart enough. I'm a suffocator. Whatever you think of yourself, right? So when you're afraid of that because you have that insecurity, you're afraid of your loved one telling you what you already think of you. You're afraid of your loved one leaving you because of that reason. Because you are in negation. You tell yourself that it's like you don't want to know that you're, I don't know, not smart enough or whatever, right? And then you leave them because you're afraid of them telling you that, Because you'd rather have this immortal story where you're like, no, I broke up with him because whatever, rather than you listening to what you're afraid of.
Well, if you have those thoughts too, it kind of becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy where if you believe that about yourself, then it's going to come out eventually that you believe that about yourself, and then that could sway things,
Totally.
I've dated people where it was like they were insecure about something, and then there'd be like a rough patch or something, and they'd be like, oh, you're just mad at me because of blah, however they think about themselves. Like, let's just, for example, be like, oh, you're mad at me because I'm not skinny enough or whatever. And the problem didn't have anything to do with that. But now it's kind of like, oh, you have this poor self-image of yourself. So why should I think highly of you,
Yeah, totally.
It's such a bummer.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that before though too, where it's just
I
we've
do
all
it
done
with all the things that I love. Like I've learned not to do it anymore. But it's super hard because like a lot of times like we want everything to go perfect, and perfection, first of all, it's unreachable, it's not real, and
doesn't exist.
Yeah, totally. So
all right, well, I got a couple questions for you before we wrap it up. We've been talking for a little while now. Just 3 questions I ask everybody before the end of the show. What is one thing that you would change about dating? If you had a magic wand, could change one thing, what would it be?
wow, that's a hard one. What would I change about dating? Honestly, I would love to be able to read minds.
Really?
Yeah, because we go through this kind of a game where it's like a rejection, attachment, like push pull kind of thing. And a lot of times people aren't honest. And I include myself in that. Like me pretending that I'm drunk because I don't want to kiss somebody, that's me being not honest and kind of a coward, because I don't want to confront that person. But by knowing what somebody thinks, like you would avoid a lot of other shit,
I would never want to know what people are thinking. That seems like such a disaster.
I mean, you wouldn't waste your time also.
Yeah, but I think like as a woman, you would just have so many I think if I was a woman and I could read people's minds that I was like on a date with, you would see some horrible thoughts.
Oh, of course, yeah. Probably.
And that would just kind of shut you off to the opportunity of like, have you seen the movie Inception?
Yes.
No, not Inception. Interstellar.
Yes.
With Matthew McConaughey, and they're going. Do you remember the robot in that movie? How they had the settings sent to 90% honesty or something like that because people can't handle that last 10%. And if you're reading minds, you're gonna get that last 10%. It's not pretty.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time,
It would be very interesting.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm so into human psychology that you're right. Maybe I don't want to read minds. I just want to be better at understanding behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's so interesting. Like, there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Matthew Hussey, and he like gives girls advice on how to like keep men or like date them, right? And I literally watch his shows not because I want to be better at dating, but because it's so interesting to songwrite, because he talks about problems that we all have and like natural men behaviors where they tell a girl something but they really mean something else, you know?
Yeah.
And I just find it so interesting. So maybe I would want to know more about human psychology, and maybe I would date. The funny thing is that it's not like I want to have my person figured out, because it's not fun if not, but maybe I would want to date somebody with a higher human psychology IQ. So it's still
More
challenging.
emotionally intelligent or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is the worst part about dating?
The worst part about dating, breaking somebody's heart.
Oof.
It's worse than when yours gets broken. It's worse to break it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it's just, because you know that pain, and you're about to bring that pain on somebody else. And it's just like, no, I don't want to have to do this.
I'd rather take it on me. Literally.
Have you ever done that where it's like, some people that I know have done this, where it's they want to break up with somebody, but they don't have the courage to do it, so they just start acting like a complete asshole in the relationship, so that the other person breaks up with them, so they don't have to do it.
I know. It's horrible. Yeah.
It's such a complicated thing.
I know.
Ugh, it's sticky. Love sucks. All right, last question before we wrap it all up. What is one piece of advice that you'd like to give everyone listening about dating?
A lot of times we try to be the image of what we think our lover wants, and that never works. Like, you always have to be yourself, be genuine, because that's what people fall for. They fall for a personality, you know? They don't fall for a copy of what you think they want, you know?
Yeah, plus also, like, if you're projecting that kind of image, it's going to be found out eventually that that's not who you are. Whether it takes a month or 6 months or 10 years.
Yeah, totally. So I think you should just be yourself. You shouldn't hold back on fear, because like, it's if shit happens, you'll regret it for the rest of your life, and you'll be constantly asking yourself like, what if? So live without what ifs, and just like go for your feelings. And honestly, it's so fucking scary to tell somebody how we feel, like if we like them or if we don't or whatever. But there's some kind of like freedom in it, some kind of like revelation after you do it. You feel like,
yeah, it's like a weight off your shoulders. It's just like, hey, I'm tired of holding this inside of me.
Yeah.
Just be like, whoa, I like you.
And also understand that if somebody doesn't like you back, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. Like, you have no control over other people's thoughts and feelings. You have no control on it. So you can't blame yourself for somebody else not liking you. If they don't like you, maybe you're not the right match, or you're not meant to be together, or maybe not at that time of your life, you know?
Yeah.
But somebody not liking you, like, literally doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You can be like a perfect person and just move on to somebody else. Like, we tend to think like love is forever, and we think that, you know, we're in love and we're gonna get married and have kids. And honestly, love is the most volatile thing in the world. Like, when you're in love, you go through so many feelings, like hate, anger, extreme love, like rejection, like yuckiness, like I don't like you anymore, you know? And honestly, dude, like, there's, I don't know how many billions of people in this world, but a lot of them, like really, really a lot of them. You can't even count them. So like, chill out and don't hook up with the guys of your friends.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. How can people get in touch with your, like, find your music, and all? You have a website. If you want to promote anything that you would like, go for it.
All right. Follow me on Instagram. I'm Michelle.Leclercq. And this is how you spell it. Michelle with 2 L's, like Michelle Obama. My last name is Leclercq. And if you type my name on YouTube, you'll find stuff. If you type my name on Spotify, you'll find stuff. I'm on Apple Music, everywhere. I have a website, which is my name and my last name.com. Leclercq. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, Michelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was fun.
There you have it, everybody. My little chat with Michelle Leclercq. You should definitely check out her stuff if you're into pop music. It's really great. I started listening to it. It's fantastic. Check it out. We've spelled her name enough times, though. I think that you guys got the hint and how to do it. You know how to get to her. And also, if you don't know how to remember how to spell it, it's in the title of this episode. So just copy and paste it. Google it. Listen to her. It's great stuff. If you want to know more about the show, reach out. See if you want to get on. Contact me. You can go to datingishardcomedy.com. You can learn all about the show, the live show, etc., the podcast, figure out where you can listen to it, and all that good stuff there. You can follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie. See where I'm going to be, all of my shows and all that stuff. You can even come to the live Dating is Hard show. The live show is every fourth Wednesday at 9:30 at Pack Theater. It's a complete blast. Pack Theater is a by donation theater, so that means if you've got extra money to spare and you can throw it the theater's way, that's awesome, and you should totally do that. But guess what? If you don't have extra money to spare, if the budget's a little tight, you are still invited. You can still come to the show. It's going to be a huge party. Everybody, I feel like it's one of my best ideas I've ever come up with in comedy. Like the podcast, share it, tell all your friends to listen, give it reviews and stuff. That's how stuff like this gets bigger, you know. And I'd really appreciate it if you did that. I really appreciate you guys listening. I think it's really awesome that I have people, checking it out. I hope you enjoy it. And, I just wanted to say thank you one more time to everybody listening. It's such a blast that I get to do this. So, thanks, guys. Until next time. Later.